Welcome to episode 31 of Vessel and Voice Podcast. I am your host, Kim Charlson, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking all about resting in your own energy, the value of rest, and how you can begin to cultivate more of it in your life. Before we get into today's episode, I want you to take a moment and think about what the last 2 weeks have brought into your life. What struggles or challenges maybe you faced, what big movements or transformations were happening. Because on Sunday night, right before this podcast is published, we had the Eclipse portal close. So if you remember, I talked about 2 episodes ago that we started a new eclipse portal with a lunar eclipse, and we've just ended it with a solar eclipse on the afternoon of Sunday, depending on what time zone you're in. Now, what's important to understand is that this is evidence of what you need to work on, the culmination of things that you've been doing and where you maybe still have some things to sort out. Now, as we talked about in our previous episode, this was the movement of the collective. So, everybody, regardless of your personal astrology from Virgo, very overworking, very centered on showing up in self criticism and perfection and always being on, to the energy of Pisces. Pisces energy is the culmination of the zodiac, it's the final zodiac before we really return to the all that is. And it's an energy of trust, an energy of surrender, and also an energy that can be considered quite lucky because things just happen without work, which is Virgo energy on its own right. And Pisces energy obviously has its own shadow sides too, but as we're moving from this energy of criticism and overwork into this energy of allowing and letting go and surrender, it's a really good time to ask yourself what came up these previous 2 weeks and how maybe that's impacting your relationship with rest. In today's episode, Monty's going to be talking about the value of rest, why we need it, how we can do it, the energy behind it. But before you even hear from him, what I want you to do is think about these past 2 weeks. What came up about rest and perfectionism, overworking and showing up too much and needing to stop and allow yourself some peace and time by yourself, maybe even meditating and connecting with the divine. How did that show up in whatever way? Maybe you were forced to take a rest because you got sick. Maybe some projects fell through that allowed you to come into rest, or maybe you didn't make choices and felt pretty run ragged. No matter how it showed up for you and how this eclipse changed your perspective, it's a call to really assess how rest shows up for you, how you can make more space for it in your life, and the energetic processes behind it and how your energy responds. It's something I've been contemplating and working on myself in many ways because this was my nodal return. So I've been right there in this energy of letting go of self-criticism and coming more into a surrender energy and allowing myself to let go of those overworking tendencies that really produced a lot of results in my life, especially for the previous few years. And I've been going through this transformation of really allowing myself to come into rest, to see that as productive and allow myself to make those sorts of choices of when I don't feel up to it, it's okay to not show up. When I feel my energy is expended, don't keep pushing it. So today's episode really resonated with me, and I hope that you enjoy what Monty has to share and the wisdom and guidance that he provides. So let's hear from Monty. The most important energy that you can engage with is often the energy of rest. And yet, humans have this idea that rest is something that is only obligatory when one is getting to the point of not having enough energy. That rest is the time to recuperate only when one's energy has been fully expended. The problem with this is, however, is that rest is an essential energy that you need to engage with on a consistent basis before you have expended all of your physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual energy. Rest allows you to come in more to the wholeness of your soul through the process of allowing you to rest within your own soul energy. In your soul are all of the energies that you should need, as we have said in previous episodes and repeated to many of our clients and channeling sessions, is that it is important for you to understand that your soul contains all of the resources that you should ever need. And it is also connected directly to the divine, and it is tapped into an ever abundant source of energy. By allowing yourself to come in to rest in your soul energy, this allows you to accumulate more of the capacity and energetic flow that is necessary for you to take action physically and non-physically in your life. Without allowing yourself to take time to rest in the energy of your soul, allowing yourself to come to that point of ease there, you are preventing yourself from coming fully into the flow of who you are and to allow yourself to move with ease, grace, and purpose in your life. Rather, you become more motivated by external energies, and that you require external energies as the life force for how you are able to move forward in your day and in your life. That life force, when it comes from external forces rather than your soul itself, is something that then is inauthentic and out of alignment with who you truly are, which prevents you from taking steps and making decisions and choices as most in alignment with your soul to allow your purpose of realizing the expression of your unique energies to be realized in your life. That when you do not take the time to rest within your soul energies, you are instead motivated by external energies that are not you, that manipulate and change and set the course rather differently than how you would within yourself. Now, we are not saying that these external energies do not have their place and that they can be interfaced with and interacted with and collaborated with, but they should not become your state of being. When you allow these external energies to become your state of being, that creates that feeling of inauthenticity with yourself, which also results in many different emotional and psychological turmoil that you feel. Allowing yourself to come into that rest in your soul, allowing yourself to come into that realization of you, your energies, and the connection with the divine allows you to come more into that alignment, to allow yourself to be fueled by your own energy rather than those external energies. It allows you to make those decisions in your life that allow you to move more forward in that expression of who you are, realizing the reason why you are here in this lifetime. Now, what does it mean to rest in your soul? It can be something very simple, and we will be providing you with a free meditation to help you come into the rest of your soul that will be available as part of this episode. But it is something that you can learn through our meditation that we will provide that is quite longer to help you come into that rest and that realization. But once you have done this meditation a few times, it is something that you can do every day by just allowing yourself to come into that connection with your soul energy. Now, we have spoken in previous episodes about the soul seat, the area that is right above your heart, that is a deepened connection with your soul. And again, your soul is present in every part of your body. But for many humans, focusing on this area allows them to come more into alignment, more into intentional focus. So at the beginning of every day, before you rise from bed, allow yourself to take a deep breath and merely focus your intention and focus your energy onto that space of your soul. And allow yourself to just be there, to be in that energy of your soul. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to choose, nothing you need to be other than to rest in that energy. And you will find doing this on a daily basis allows you to go out into the world feeling much more invigorated, much more able to move through the world with your own energy, much more able to make decisions more in alignment with who you are and who you wish to become. It is that simple practice is all it takes to rest in this energy of your soul. Now, for more extended rest of that, you have been someone who is very externalized in their energy and has been taking in energy from all of the surrounding situations and surrounding conditions rather than the energy of your soul. It can take a little bit more to jumpstart that rest. And that is more of a recuperation of allowing yourself to stop taking in those external energies for a period of time, to allow yourself to recognize when you are being those external energies and to refocus on the energy of your soul, taking just a moment to rest in that energy before choosing or doing or interacting with external energies. That recuperation of your energy is something that you will find you need to do multiple times throughout the day, of just noticing when you are taking in those external energies, when you are being those external energies and reacting to them, and allowing yourself to say, in this moment, I am not being myself. I'm going to return to my own energy. I'm going to rest in my soul for a few moments. And it need not be very long. It can be just a few moments to recalibrate your energy, to allow yourself to exclude those external energies for a moment. Doing this practice and focusing on it throughout your day will help you come more into a sense of invigoration, a sense of energy and ease of being who you are and allowing yourself to come fully into your soul, and then begin to allow that expression to come more into physical manifestation. But it first begins with that recognition of when you are allowing yourself to take in those external energies and allow them to be your life source rather than the energy of your soul. The more time that you spend with the energy of your soul, the more time you will also feel connected to the divine, to the all that is. And we have spoken about this before, in that the more that you align with your soul energy, it creates more of a direct connection to the divine, because your soul is supplied in its life force, in its existence, by the divine. And so that allows you in that way to be taking in more energy, to expand your energetic capacity by connecting with your soul, as your soul will channel more of this energy from the pure divine energy into you. This allows your energetic capacity to expand over time, so that way you can hold more external energies, not be external energies, but hold them so you can work with them, collaborate with them, create with them. But again, it begins first with the energy of rest in your soul. As part of this practice, you must also come to terms with the ways that you believe in your own thinking mind and in your own energetic programming that rest is not something that is valuable for you, that rest is not something that you should be engaging with because it is not productive. Rest is one of the most productive energies because it allows you to expand that energetic capacity. It allows you to come more into alignment with who you are, so that way you can be producing and creating the things that are actually meant to be from you, that are the desires of your soul, the things that make you feel the most alive, that make you feel the most in alignment with who you are and the most fulfilled. Without that rest, where you are coming into that energy, your energy is in a smaller state of expansion. It cannot hold as many external energies. You cannot collaborate with as many external energies. So rest is quite productive, but it is a different idea when we view it from an energetic perspective rather than one of, I am not doing anything and I am not producing anything, and so therefore it is not productive. It is rather the foundation of all of your creations that you will make in this lifetime. Without a deep connection with your soul and allowing you to come into that soul energy through rest, you are preventing yourself from fully coming into that culmination of your creations. Now, as you are working on these ideas of rest as not productive, it requires a shift in focus from non-physical energies being more important than physical. In many ways, the concept that rest is not productive is a focus on physical manifestations, physical creations. And again, we would urge you to remember that everything begins in the non physical first. And when you focus on the non physical as your primary focus point in how you make your beliefs and tend to your energy, the results from those come into the physical. By allowing yourself to place a priority on your energy and your energetic state, that allows you to come more into that productivity within the physical. But it relies on changing that focus from prioritizing rest because it can produce to prioritizing rest because it is a improved state of being in more alignment with who you are. It is a different way of thinking and looking at the world around you, and will require some time for this to come into the fullness of your understanding. As you experience rest, notice how it is changing your interactions with the external world, how you can stay in that state of calm and peace within your energy, make more decisions in alignment, and your creations are much more effective towards your desires and goals. We send you great love in this endeavor. That is all. This episode is so well timed as a moment for reflection on how rest can fit into our lives. And what Monty offers is not saying something like you need to go on a retreat and allow yourself to disconnect from everything and allow yourself to remove yourself from the physical world, which is often this idea of deep rest that we have, of that we cannot be involved in the physical world and allow ourselves to come into rest, that we have to abstain from the physical world, the physical doing, the physical showing up to be able to rest. Instead, what he offers is an energetic process where we can still be showing up and involved in the world, but instead resting in the energy of our souls while we're doing it. And this is something that I have been using myself and that Monty's been coaching me on and a few clients on over the previous month as we were preparing for this eclipse. So it's something that he started to bring to my attention of saying, hey, Kim, I want you to notice how rest is asking for you and how you're continuing to take in these external energies rather than being in your own energy. And so he offered this meditation in our membership, which you'll find included in the show notes below that you can sign up for. And it's a very simple and easy meditation to do. The meditation itself gets you through the entire process that I use every single time I channel to really get in tune with that state. But Monty also offers a very easy practice that you can use any second throughout the day. And it's something that after I did this meditation on my own, I started to really implement this practice for myself. That every single time I started to feel reactive or like I was acting out the external energies around me, I took a deep breath and I refocused on the energy of my soul and allowed myself to recenter in that place and just take a moment of rest. It didn't have to be very long. Sometimes it was maybe 5 or 10 seconds. It was just the same amount of time it took to take a deep breath. And in those times, I could really feel the shift in my energy of allowing myself to really detach from those external energies, to come into my own internal state of rest and relaxation and calm, and then be able to act more in alignment, to make decisions, to be less reactive and more in my own space, in my own energy. And every single moment where I would start to feel that reaction coming back in again, I would just take a deep breath and return into the energy of my soul. It really helped me navigate the eclipse because the eclipse for me had been quite busy, honestly. I have done so many guest interviews on other people's podcasts over this 2-week period, and I'm so thankful for that. But it's definitely been quite busy. So finding those moments of rest, despite that my schedule was very full, was a very helpful thing to do that allowed me to still come into all of this work that I was doing energized and release the self-criticism that often would pop up. So I hope you give this a try. Let us know how this sits with you, whether or not you're able to implement rest. If you have any questions about this practice or any other questions you'd like to send us, you can text us using the link in the show notes below, We hope to hear from you, and we will see you in the next one.